What comes to mind when you think of epidemics in communities? COVID-19? Drugs? How about smoking? Let's say you're going for a walk in a city. In most cities, it's easy to notice this, or this, but we usually don't pay attention to it. Right now, smoking is a normalized act in communities, and people are well aware of the health risks. However, the problem goes deeper than this, and is the result of a deeper-rooted issue that's persisted for decades, an issue directly and continuously perpetuated by the tobacco industry. If you continue walking through the city, in most cities, you've likely seen this. Or, when you're scrolling social media, you've seen this. For the past decades, the tobacco industry advertised smoking and tobacco products all over the country, in an attempt to normalize smoking and generate profit. The tobacco marketing is present in many different forms. It's commonly seen as physical advertisements at various locations. However, it can be in many other forms, like flyers in magazines, and has been televised in commercials from the 1950s to the present decade. In recent years, advertisement has even been present through celebrity endorsements of tobacco products to fans. As part of its appeal, the tobacco industry uses every trick in the book to market to young kids and teens. The products themselves are made to look like candy you'd find at a gas station, with prices cheap enough for pocket change. In stores, tobacco is designed and displayed with everyday products, both for deceiving teens and hiding from parents. Cigarettes and vapes come in all sorts of flavors, captivating for children.
Oh, I think it's grape. I see that right there. Oh, look at mine.
It smells like gum.
Yummy. This one looks super cool.
Ooh, this looks
pretty.
shiny.
It smells like strawberry.
Marketing to youth expands past physical forms, with online pictures of teen models posing with tobacco products, and tobacco companies even putting ads on children's cartoon sites like Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon. Despite the dangerous nature of tobacco marketing and the restrictions placed over the decades, the tobacco industry has found legal loopholes to continue marketing. For example, when the Food and Drug Administration banned free samples, the industry reduced the price of e-cigarettes to only $1, generating the same appeal while making its way around the restriction. The American Lung Association reports that when restrictions were placed on tobacco products, they failed to include menthol, a flavoring used in tobacco to make it seem safer. This led the tobacco industry to start selling menthol cartridges as a workaround for new profits. Additionally, to fit with regulations, companies put ventilation holes on tobacco products, but intentionally put these holes on places that are easily covered. During these regulations, tests are conducted on the products, in which the industry often uses air filters to skew the results. As for the ongoing legal restriction battles, even though most smokers want to quit, the tobacco industry continuously argues they smoke by choice. After all, people consume other substances that harm the body. These arguments and loopholes have allowed the tobacco industry to continue its marketing to communities, even with active action against it. With people's shifting attention and laws against specific tobacco products, the industry continues to create new tobacco products. To move past the bad labels put on cigarettes, tobacco companies created vapes, and advertised vapes as a new and safer way to smoke. The industry also attempts to turn new products into new trends, with the new Juul pen being advertised as a trendy e-cigarette for teens.
It all started in 2015, when Juul hosted hundreds of launch parties for their new product. They would give out thousands of free samples at these parties, and their booths were riddled with young, attractive women working the stands.
All this while tobacco companies make millions telling you it's great. As a result of tobacco marketing, smoking has been normalized to communities and youths with devastating health effects. Most communities impacted by the marketing are minority communities that the advertising directly targeted. Tobacco advertising tends to target racial minorities, with tobacco companies sponsoring many Asian and Mexican holidays, leading to high smoking statistics among Latino Americans. Companies further target racial communities through sponsorship and product advertisements at various Native American events and gatherings.
I was met with these two paths of, learning about my own culture and building a community with people who can pass down my generational knowledge, or ruin my body and submit to this addiction, which I did. And then I just went off the deep end.
I was like, oh, I need it. I was constantly craving, and then I realized, dang, I have a problem.
I thought
Tobacco marketing targets other minorities too, with its efforts to turn LGBTQ+ communities into smoking communities. The industry accomplishes this by sponsoring various pride events and heavily distributing tobacco products to LGBTQ+ bars. Both these marketing strategies are largely responsible for LGBTQ+ nicotine addiction in the United States. The industry intentionally targets its marketing towards minority groups and communities in order to get them hooked on tobacco products and normalize it in their lives. Communities the tobacco industry markets to include African American communities, where smoking advertising is heavily pushed on TV and neighborhoods. The marketing led African American kids to grow up smoking and make them think it was a cool thing to do.
My name is Ethan. I smoked and have had multiple strokes. I thought smoking was cool. The gangsters in the movies smoked. The people in the commercials smoked. And when you would inhale it, the menthol would kind of fill your chest. And it was supposed to be smoother and cooler than other cigarettes. I started smoking menthol cigarettes to be just like the cool guys in the ads. Here's my tip. There's nothing cool about smoking and having a stroke. I guess they forgot to mention that in the ads.
Ethan B. grew up in an African American neighborhood where at a young age, everyone around him would smoke, and he began to smoke because it helped him fit in, and the advertising convinced him it'd make him seem cool. In its attempts to market to minorities, the tobacco industry used its advertisements to normalize smoking as part of African American communities, leading people like Ethan to become addicted without concern for the health issues. It's clear the tobacco industry intentionally normalizes tobacco as it generates profits from racial communities, and the ads mask the glaring health issues it will cause these communities. Other communities severely impacted by the tobacco marketing are immigrant communities in the United States. In particular, in Oregon, the tobacco industry heavily markets to immigrant communities.
I work for Center for Intercultural Organizing, CIO for the acronym, and I am the Leadership Development Coordinator for CIO. Tobacco is a big issue to the immigrant and refugee community, specifically folks who are coming from a lot of war-torn countries and other things that they have faced PTSD. A lot of times these immigrant and refugee communities or people aren't able to access the necessary healthcare that they need. I feel like if I see someone who looks like me and is using these products, I will think that I would also want to use this product. I feel a retail licensing system will be able to combat one of the big problems, which is helping stop our youth smoking.
Zach highlights that the immigrant communities he oversees are surrounded by tobacco advertisements that attempt to appeal to their various cultures. His ideas of advertisement licensing can serve as a potential solution. However, they also reveal how unmoderated advertisements currently are to these communities, and how easily the tobacco industry can and does take advantage of it. In immigrant communities, the tobacco industry uses their races and cultures to target them with advertisements and integrate smoking into their communities. This advertising campaign leads these communities to suffer the effects of smoking without proper access to healthcare. The tobacco industry also focuses its marketing towards LGBTQ+ communities. In Philadelphia, smoking rates are some of the highest in the country, with it being highly prominent in Philadelphia's LGBTQ+ communities.
Targeted advertisements to LGBTQ specific magazines, events, philanthropy, and Big Tobacco managed to really portray the community in a way that felt like we were seen and heard. It is so incorporated into sort of the life of a lot of LGBTQ people that they don't see it the way they saw AIDS.
As a gay teen trying to figure out who I was, I hid behind cigarettes. And then when I figured out who I was so addicted to nicotine that it was hard for me to quit.
The tobacco industry has a repeated pattern of marketing to minority communities. The industry advertises tobacco as an inclusive trend for minorities like LGBTQ+ people to engage in, and by extension, normalizes smoking to these communities. Due to the industry's normalization, communities are unable to get proper health care and suffer the harmful effects of smoking, and many don't see tobacco as harmful at all. It's clear up to this point that the tobacco industry uses tobacco marketing to get attention to tobacco products and in turn generate profits. The industry continuously works around existing restrictions with little awareness of the dangers of smoking. They use various tactics to appeal to a youth audience, with the signs of it clear all around us. The marketing itself targets minorities and normalizes smoking in their communities. Through these efforts, the tobacco industry makes millions each year while people suffer the harm of smoking in silence. More communities we don't know could be smoking due to tobacco marketing across the country with little awareness. Many of these community stories won't be told because they see tobacco as part of their lives. However, not all hope is lost. To prevent this, we must make efforts to learn more about the communities that tobacco marketing has impacted. As countertobacco.org reports, although the industry works around many restrictions, many do actually succeed in reducing tobacco marketing. Knowing this, we must enact stronger marketing restrictions to protect the youth and restrict access to tobacco. Proposals like Zach Mohammed's marketing license have the potential to greatly limit tobacco advertising. Governmental restrictions can combat the tobacco industry as a whole and have been shown to work, with countries like Mexico recently banning public smoking, and will continue to work, with the United Kingdom making efforts to ban vapes by the summer of 2025. It will be a difficult fight to put an end to the tobacco industry's marketing, but not an impossible fight, as long as people stand up for the communities and youths preyed upon by tobacco marketing, and work to ensure the industry cannot avoid restriction forever.